Yo, I'm back with part 2 of the best Mario Odyssey hide and seek spots for every kingdom. For anyone who's new here, these are the best original hide and seek spots that I could find. I did try my best to pick unique spots, but since I don't have unlimited time to sit and watch hide and seek videos all day, there is a good chance that I missed a couple. Okay, enough stalling, let's get into it. Our first spot in Cap Kingdom might actually be the hardest spot to reach in the whole video. It starts out the same way as my Cap Kingdom spot from the first video, which many of you pointed out to be unoriginal, so I guess this is sort of meant to be a bit of redemption. After you reach the end of this peninsula, you'll need to drop down to the ledge below. It's important to make sure that you conserve your cap bounce throughout this whole first section, because you'll need it to reach your spot at the end. Okay, here's the hard part. Let go of the ledge that you fall, but make sure not to wall jump or you'll lose your bounce. Then, use the cap bounce that you had saved up to this point to get over the wall, where you can then drop down again and wall jump to your heart's desire. I think this spot's pretty good, but don't worry, there are better ones to come. There are lots of spots like this throughout the game that just for whatever reason don't have collision, and we will happily take advantage of that. All you have to do here is hold forward and then spam jump as soon as it lets you go under the sign. Yes, they'll probably hear you jumping, but they won't know where it's coming from, so just hold your ground. This spot is honestly baffling that's even possible. These zippers are a bit funky, so if you walk directly into them, you can go straight through. If you then jump outwards and ground pound so that you stay in the zipper, you can land on the edge of the platform that is directly below the death plane. Here you have to stay basically dead center. If you go to the right, the wall will push you out and the death plane is directly to your left, so I don't think that's the best option either. This is optional, but it's a good idea to inch forward just a bit to make sure that no one sees you whenever they're jumping down to check the area below at the moon. Just be extremely careful when doing so. Once you think you've gone far enough, the only other thing that I'd do is face into the wall so that you're not sticking out. The hammer slash fire slash pan bro is one of the weirdest captures. For whatever reason, he can stand in places that Mario as well as other captures can't. This spot in wood is a great example of that. Bro is literally walking on air here. Sorry, Lost Kingdom kinda sucks for hiding spots. I literally spent hours looking, but this is the best that I've got. I bet this has already been used too. It's just too obvious. Good thing the Metro Kingdom spot goes crazy. Since the scooter has a more extended hitbox than Mario, it can stay under this tiny sliver of stand-up ground. Just make sure that you don't let go of the accelerate button and you'll be good. I honestly don't know how I find stuff like this. This spot requires some of the same jumps as one of Smallant's iconic spots, but it takes it even further. Usually whenever you get to this point, you just have to crouch around the outside of this ledge until you reach the far corner. Instead of doing that, here we chain together backflips and cap jumps to get to the area below just where you enter the race room. It's important not to walk at all while you're on this ledge, because if you do, it'll force you off. Once we get close enough, we can do our final leap to reach the support beam where Mario can hang partially covered by it. Not only is this spot amazing, but it also gives a great view of the race room below. By the way, I know we're over halfway through the video, but I just wanted to say sorry if I sound sick. It's because I am. For whatever reason, you can sit up here as a gushin. I would empty out your water though, just to make sure you don't stand out. I love that you can do this. I will admit that the spot is kind of weird. We're just going to assume that they don't look up, and even if they do, reaching the spot is a hassle of its own.
Here's yet another example of the fire bro breaking hide and seek. This spot's even better than the one before because you're much more covered. This is actually the first spot that I found making this video. My strategy for searching is usually just throwing myself off of cliffs and hoping it works, but I know that's not everyone's thing. Okay, I'm gonna get a bit defensive here. The definition of out of bounds is going outside of the set limit. Since there's no set limit here, which would be the wall's collision, I think this is perfectly legal. No clippage required, anyone can do it, and I found it, so I'm obviously going to be biased, but that's irrelevant. In my opinion, since there's no glitch required to get here, this is fair game. Whew, good rant, I'm done now. This one's a bit tricky, but with some practice you can get it consistently. Why is this thing so far away? After you take the bonds I build this opening, drop down below and cap bounce at just the right moment to squeeze in between this wall and the pipe. Now all you have to do is spam jump until your hands hate you. Last, and maybe least, oh wait, no, Lost Kingdom exists. We have Mushroom Kingdom. This spot is a bit mean, but I don't think that's necessarily bad. Usually, the rule for hiding in trees and bushes is that Mario has to be at least partially visible, or it's considered cheating. This is the only type of tree like this in the game, and it's built to where my man Mario can stand directly in the middle of it, and you can still see him from the bottom. Not gonna lie, that was intense, but we got it done. Let's go. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support. I was actually happy with 500 views on the first video, and then 20k you popped up out of nowhere. Not to mention that the Smallant commented on my video. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this and it lived up to the first video. If for whatever reason you haven't seen part 1, it's in the description. I don't think part 3 is happening. As much as I'd love to spend 20 more hours throwing myself into the abyss, I think I found 90% of the remaining spots. If you do happen to find any cool spots yourself, I have a Discord server you can slap them in, and if I get enough I might make a compilation. That's all I got. See you in the next one. Please.